If you've got busy kids at home, you know how they can leave their mark on furniture. But luckily, it's really easy to recover and freshen up those chairs, footstools, and even bar stools like I have here. This one has definitely seen better days and it needs a new cover. I'm going to show you how to put on a new cover, but get those nice clean corners like you would see on a decorator chair without having to pull out the sewing machine or even knowing what a mitered corner is. For my fabric, I'm going with a faux suede. And faux suede is one of my favorites in family homes for a couple of reasons. Mainly, it is really stain resistant and moisture resistant. So this is going to be a great choice for a bar stool. Plus this one has a cool little fleck that picks up the gray in my bar stool. So it's going to look great too. Now, if you're shopping for fabrics for a busy family home, make sure you ask for the outdoor fabric aisle at your fabric store, because they have fabulous looking outdoor fabrics these days. They are not the scratchy, plasticky fabrics that you remember from 20 years ago. The fabrics they're doing today for outdoor furniture are wonderful. They're textured, they have bright colors, and best of all, they're stain resistant, mildew resistant, fade resistant, moisture resistant. Of course, that makes it all kid resistant. So really check them out. Here are some of the samples that I got today at the fabric store, and I just think they're wonderful. Other than the fabric, you're only going to need 3 tools to do this project, and that's a screwdriver to take the cushion off the chair, scissors, of course, to cut and trim your fabric, and the good old staple gun. That is all we need to do this project. Now to get started, all I'm going to do is cut, well, I've already done it because you don't need to watch me cut a square of fabric. You want to cut a square of fabric that's very generous. Give yourself lots of room for error. And if you're doing a stripe, of course, pay attention to which way the stripe's going when you go to start stapling the fabric to your cushion. Now I've already taken this cushion off. Most of your chair cushions are going to be plywood backed. That's of course what you're going to want to staple into. If you have something that's a web backed, that's going to be a different project. So these are the types of cushions, the plywood backed or the MDF board backed, that really work best for this project. So all you're going to do is just set your cushion on your fabric, and give myself plenty of room to staple on both sides. Okay, now taking my staple gun, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just pulling up, and in this particular chair you'll see I've already got a lot of staples running from the upholsterer. I'm just going to overlap those, so I cut my fabric big enough to overlap. I'm going to pull up and just pop a staple in the middle. Now of course pull it a little bit tight, you don't want it to be wrinkling, and put pressure on your stapler to make sure it goes down really well. If it doesn't go down all the way, you can always hammer it in later. Then to do my corners, I'm going to pull my other 2 sides up and staple them in the middle, making sure they're nice and tight. And then I'm going to work my corner, and you'll see why I do this in a minute. Now to do my corner, instead of pulling out the sewing machine and sewing and mitering this corner on this box cushion, I'm just going to make almost like a little tufted corner, which is very decorator looking. You'll see this on footstools and such, and it's super easy to do. Once I have my 3 sides up surrounding the corner, I'm going to bring the corner piece in, and I'm going to staple it there, snugging it down. This kind of prevents that gift wrap looking corner that you sometimes see on the staging, the home staging shows when they're doing it really fast just to, you know, get the home ready for open house. Instead, we do this. We kind of do a fit. What you're going to do is, now that this is secure, you're going to tuft that down a little bit and then pull it in. So we're actually going to have an even tufting on both sides. And then staple that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just tuck it, make an even tufting. Kind of hard to see. There we go. And it should be nice and even there. There we go. You might end up with like an extra little layer of fabric as it puckers. Don't worry about that. Just staple it down nice and tight. You might need to give it an extra staple there just to keep it tight because it is a few layers of fabric. And there we have a beautiful tufted corner. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other sides. Now you probably see I haven't done an entire row of staples here yet up and down the sides, and I'm not going to do that until I'm done with all the corners, so I can turn it over, make sure everything looks right before I have a bunch of holes in the fabric. This way I only have a few staples to pull out if I have to fix things. Back here we have a bit of a rounding, and we'll also have corners, but we'll have to kind of ease those. So I'm going to pull out my edge, staple it down, and since I've got this rounding, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and pull up in the approximation of the corner, and I'm going to tuft it just like I did the front, but I'll kind of have to ease it just a little bit along the back because I have this rounding here, and it's not going to want to tuck in quite as neatly as the 90-degree corners would, but you can easily make it work. And then again, same thing. I'll tuft this one the same direction. I tufted these both going back. You can actually do them one facing each other. You can do it a couple of ways. I don't know. I just like doing it this way. I'm saying tufting. I think that's the decorator term for it. May not be. See? There we go. So we have a nice, consistent, very clean corner there with just the two very even lines instead of a big gift wrap corner. Do the same thing on this side. I'm going to just check it out here. Now once I go in and pull these little ends down a bit, it's going to look very, very even. I'm very happy with this. So now I just have to finish it off. I'm going to do an even line of staples all the way around the edge, getting all the pieces of fabric nice and straight and taut, and then I'm going to trim it. And that's it. All trimmed up around the edges and ready to put back on my chair frame. Now that looks great. And I defy my 11-year-old to spill anything on that I can't clean up. Be sure to check out KidSmartLiving.com for printable instructions on how to do this project, plus loads of other great ideas on creating kid-safe, kid-smart, family-friendly homes with style. Thanks for watching.